what role did this radical, divisive DEI indoctrination program play in preventing a police officer from being present and detecting this, and or from causing a racial divisiveness that may have motivated this fight? And I think the school did an enormous amount of culpability. And look at their statements. There's no moral clarity there. They don't mention the victim.
So that is Attorney General Andrew Bailey, I believe his name, in Missouri. This is a messed up situation, and it's turned into a racial, I guess, / political controversy / debate in Missouri. I don't know if you guys have seen what has happened. There is a video out there. I will not be including that video in this video, but it is out there. It's very graphic, very brutal. There is a couple screenshots from the video in this video, but this girl, Kaylee Gain, a teenager, is in the hospital in very, very critical condition. And the Attorney General is talking about, this is all from a high school fight amongst students, is talking about upgrading these charges, possibly charging this 15-year-old that's been taken into custody as an adult. Some people are saying the school should possibly be on the hook for some charges that they're negligent, as you heard them speaking about the school officers not being there to stop this or doing their job well enough to stop this. And there's this whole DEI stuff, which stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And this is just offline. DEI stands for diversity, equity, inclusion. It's the umbrella term for the programs, policies, strategies, and practices that implement a company's mission to create and sustain a diverse, equitable, and inclusive environment that respects and accommodates every employee's ethnicity. Now, I guess something happened at the school where the police or officers that patrolled the school previously was asked to take part in this DEI training and refused to, and then they have some different people working, and the Attorney General there is basically saying he feels like because of this DEI training, they weren't doing their job. I need to know what everyone thinks about this. You see, it's a very heated online debate as this young girl, again, Kaylee Gain, is in the hospital, brain damage, frontal lobe damage, swelling of the brain, bleeding of the brain, skull cracked. It's terrible, man. And listen, when I came up, I'm not advocating for fights to happen or anything like that, but fights happen, right? Some would say it's a part of growing up. Some would say it's not. But it's like a fair fight is a fight. When it's over, oh, this person got the best of that person, it's over. People got to be there to break it up. And this girl that's been taken into custody smashed this girl's head off the pavement multiple times. And that's why, people are talking about, in the Attorney General wants to, upgrade these charges. And I don't know, I feel like he's getting kind of political with this. It's just all a mess, man. But check out what he said. He said, if you watch the video, let's keep in mind this occurs at 2:30 p.m. on a Friday in broad daylight in a public street. And guys, there was dudes brawling, girls brawling. It was insane, man. Like this high school, I don't even know what was going on, man. Don't get me wrong. We had some scraps and brawls and groups fighting at my school, and I came up in a pretty rough area, and I guess I would say a rough era, but this is nuts, man. But it says daylight in a public street, just a few feet away from the school where these teens are students, and there's multiple teens involved. But if you drill down and watch the actual assault itself, you see an attacker who's repeatedly bludgeons the victim's head against the hard pavement, clearly intending to inflict serious physical injury. The law is clear on this point. The court has to hold a certification hearing on a first-degree assault to determine whether or not this situation is better dealt with in adult court. So they'll have the certification hearing, decide if this individual should be charged as an adult. I feel like it's going to happen, personally. Let me know what you feel is going to happen and what you think should happen. It's crazy that this is turning into a whole racial conflict and debate. From my understanding, it sounds like this Attorney General is saying that this DEI training, apologies, y'all, which is something that I'm really not up on like that. So I really want everyone to comment and share your thoughts about the DEI stuff, about this situation. This girl looks like she may not make it. And that's the other discussion going on here, is that there's talks the family may pull the plug as it's not looking good. And then, there will possibly be a murder case instead of first-degree assault, I believe. I don't know, but it's just wild, man, and it's a shame. And I've been seeing this trending online, and people are just, arguing about this. Like, I want to go over some of the comments here that people are leaving in regards to the video. Like, someone saying murder, murder, murder a bunch of times. Someone else says, I would say second-degree murder, but I am concerned that this was a planned meetup. In that case, at the very least, manslaughter, and charge her as an adult. And then there's also guys that, about the other individuals involved, and, other people fighting each other, and, if people didn't stop it. And again, is the school on the hook at all in any way? And in this whole DEI thing, I'm not really understanding what it is. I'm a person that believes racism is a real thing. It's gone on for a long time, and it's good that things have happened to, try to take steps in the direction to stop that with law enforcement as well. Okay, but what the Attorney General and some of the people I see commenting are saying, it's like they feel that this DEI and this, I don't know if there's a political swing to this or what, but it feels like they're getting at that the officers not doing anything is because they didn't want to be labeled racist, as some of the individuals fighting were black, and it's like, I don't know if that's true or not. Again, I don't know if this is a political thing. I don't live in Missouri. I'm not familiar with this area, but and with this DEI stuff, if what this guy's saying is true, or again, this is just a political play or something. Let's go on with what more of these comments are saying. Pounding another person's head on the concrete has to be a heinous thought and act. If this chick gets taken off life support, then the charges should be dropped. No case. This was a self-defense crime at the most. She ran up on the wrong person and got her ass beat. If her family takes her off life support, it's on the family, charges dropped. I don't know if that really makes sense or if that would happen. Because like I was saying, in a fight, if this girl did start the fight and she ran up on the other girl, it's like, okay, a fight happened, the other girl has the right to defend her, whatever. But the pounding someone's head off the pavement, I believe by the law is almost like the same as using a weapon, or in my opinion should be. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was unnecessary, it went too far. You already beat the girl up. You know what I mean? Like, leave it be. When I grew up, like I said, we fought a lot. We grew up fighting. I grew up in an era where if you didn't fight, your dad might whoop your ass for not fighting and then go send you out there to fight after. And I'm not joking. I'm not trying to sound like some OG. That's just how it was. I grew up getting my ass whooped by my dad, With everything, in my opinion, there's never the happy medium. And what I mean by that, with a lot of things, like I said, a lot about how I grew up, a lot of that stuff, I guess, was abusive, but that's just what it was. But then nowadays, a lot of kids are so out of line, and I've seen this firsthand where kids are out of line, wilding out, and if the parents try to do anything to discipline them at all, they'll go, lie and try to get the family in trouble. I've seen it, like on some straight brat type ish. And that's what I'm saying, where there's the happy medium. Like, back in the day, should we be getting whipped with extension cords and all that and punched in the head by my father? No, right? That was too far. But should kids just be able to do whatever, tell their parents go F themselves, and they're not allowed to discipline them at all? No. You got to find that happy medium, where discipline can still be instilled, but it ain't how it was. And with this DEI stuff, like I said, there's all these racial arguments going on as I continue on with this video that we're going to get to. Apologies, y'all. It's a lot of stuff I'm trying to cover here. This is a real messed up situation. Like I said, racism is ingrained in America's history, right? So it's good that if this training, I'm not familiar with what the curriculum of it is, if there is stuff being put in place to stop racism from a police level. And like this, what I read was about a workplace, respecting people's ethnicities and stuff like that. That's good. But if people are saying that it's making law enforcement fear to patrol or stop certain individuals from breaking the law, then that's not the happy medium. You know what I'm saying? Happy medium is, anyone can be arrested if they're breaking the law, but, no racial discrimination going on by law enforcement. You know what I mean? So again, I don't know if this is a really a real thing or there's a political side to this matter, but I see people online going back and forth about it, and it's getting very racial. You know what I'm saying? Someone says, I'm deeply saddened. I didn't even know her. Someone says, sure, let's upgrade those charges so Mornice finally gets justice. I would say second-degree murder, but I'm concerned that this was, okay, we already read that. And I don't know. So you guys tap in and comment. Oh, wait, here's some more. Someone says, she was protected herself just like Kyle Rittenhouse. She just didn't have an assault rifle. And then someone says, congratulations, you've got the dumb reply to the tweet award. Rittenhouse getting brought up and all this, racial political stuff. Like, I don't know, I'm a person, I just try to judge every incident by what it is. You know what I mean? Like, fair, unfair, what's real, what's not, and that's what I want everyone to do in this comment thread, as well as subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for more true crime content and all that, but I really want to hear from the people. That's the basis of this channel. Someone says, how did we get to a place in this world where this would be anything but murder? Rhetorical question, liberal. So see, you got a political spin going there. I wish they would start charging the libs that stand around and watch, as well as the aggressor. It is sickening that no one helped as she lay there and had a seizure. So let's point this out. After this girl got her head pounded off the pavement, she lay there for a few minutes convulsing until EMT showed up. And from my understanding, no one did help her out. Again, the video's out there. It's not hard to find if you want to go see it. It's against the community guidelines, so I'm not going to have it in this video. But on top of that, it's just not right for me to share this video. Like, it's in poor taste. You know what I'm saying? Someone said, okay, this is not due to DEI. This is ghetto culture. It's celebrated and embraced. So what do y'all think about that comment? Someone says, no child should die from such violence at the hands of another child. What is happening to our children today? That there is so much hate in our schools, in our stores and restaurants. It has become acceptable to lose control over any little thing, and no one is held accountable. Someone says, pounding another person's head on the concrete has to be heinous. We already read that. So I don't know, there's the debate, what people are saying, but here's, something else that was put out in a press release. The Missouri high school near where teen Kaylee Gain was horrifically injured last week had an enormous amount of culpability in the incident because it promoted diversity, equity, and inclusion. DEI initiatives over student safety, the state's Republican Attorney General claims. So again, that's the Attorney General who you heard the brief clip of in the beginning. He's flat out saying there were old officers that refused to take this DEI training. The new officers didn't act because of the DEI training, is what he's saying happened. Kaylee Gaines, 16, was just a few blocks from Hazelwood East High School when she and another girl got into a physical fight on March 8th. The caught-on-camera brawl ended with Gain being pinned down and having her head slammed off the pavement multiple times, resulting in brain bleeding and a serious skull fracture. And this is what the school had to say. It says, it is a tragedy anytime children are hurt. Bullying and fighting in the community is an issue for which we all need to take ownership and work towards a resolution for the sake of our children. And they also offered their sincerest condolences to everyone involved. And, and here we go again. Bailey, the Attorney General, once again blames condition because it promoted radical DEI programs in place of school safety. So he's flat out saying that safety is second to DEI. Now, the family has spoke out. So the grandmother has spoke out and says, with heavy hearts, I am asking for support for our beloved family and Kaylee. and family in minutes. This family's life shattered when their only daughter was assaulted outside of a North County high school. She was left alone on the ground to convulse before EMTs arrived on the scene. She was admitted to one of the local hospitals in St. Louis with a skull fracture and frontal lobe damage. She has major brain bleeding and swelling and is in critical condition. Kaylee is fighting hard to stay alive and heal, but this is only the beginning of a very, very uphill battle for Kaylee and her family. We will not know the extent of the brain damage that has occurred until she wakes up, but the path to recovery will be extremely hard on the family, not only mentally, but financially. Her mother and father are staying by her side night and day, hoping to bring her back to the Kaylee they know and love. Your support would help with lost wages and piling up medical bills due to the intensive care treatment. So this is the stuff from the GoFundMe. And I guess there's a second one too that a cousin put up that raised $20,000 that says, "We are deeply touched that Kaylee's cousin was moved to find a way to help the family during this crisis. We are so grateful for the amazing medical staff who have been working tirelessly to give her the best possible chance at a full recovery. We know she has a very long road ahead of her, but we remain hopeful. We are so overwhelmed by all the support and love. Thank you." So just a terrible, sad situation, man. You know, a high school fight, which again, I'm not saying kids should fight, but I'm just talking about my life experiences. You know, like you always hear people talk about stuff that sounds so cliche, like, oh, back in my day, stuff like this happened, or back in my day, you know, or, oh, people nowadays want to use weapons. When I was young, we fought like this, you know. It's good to avoid violent situations, but they happen. But this is just beyond a normal fight. Slamming someone's head off the pavement is just like vicious and brutal. You know what I'm saying? Like with all this talk of self-defense and stuff like that, I don't know the specifics if that's how the fight went down. But if she did run up on that girl and swing off on her, yes, that girl has the right to defend herself. But the slamming the head off the pavement has just gone too far, you know. But this is just wild. Like I said, it's just turned into this big debate about this DEI and about racial stuff. And from what I'm gathering from, you know, looking more into the story, it seems like this has to do with the school and the school district. Like there's been a lot of heated debates and disputes and controversies over this type of discussions prior to this happening. But just what a terrible situation. Hopefully this girl wakes up and recovers. But I just want to know what everyone thinks. Like I said, like the video. Obviously, we don't like that this happened. You know, it just helps get it out more in the algorithm to hear everyone's thoughts, take an opinion on what happened. What do you think about all this DEI stuff, this liberal stuff, this, you know, political stuff? You know, like I'm curious to know what everyone thinks. You know, just aside from this story, political matters, it seems like in the past 8 to 10 years, like I've seen family members and families literally being ripped apart because people vote different or have, you know, views on the opposite side of the spectrum than each other. You know what I mean? But it gets crazy. So I really don't try to engage in those kind of discussions, but it is what it is. You know, I guess it's something that needs to be discussed. But just in general, like I said, with a lot of stuff, it always seems like there's never that happy medium, you know, and is that just mankind, human beings, that it's like this? Like another example I'll give real quick before I close this video out. When I was a kid, mental health was not something that was discussed a lot. There was like, people were ashamed of it. People thought it was like a weak thing. You know what I mean? Like when I was a kid, I was an emotional kid. I would cry sometimes. I get slapped upside the head for crying, especially in public. And, you know, that was kind of the way a lot of the world looked at things. But now mental health is respected and observed. But then, like I said, instead of that just being that people are more understanding of it and there's more resources, it can go overboard in certain situations where there's individuals that try to manipulate that. And, you know, if someone has a mental health problem, they can manipulate and play into it and try to use it to get out of any trouble. Or, oh, you can't say anything to me. I have this or whatever. I'm bipolar. So if you say something to me, like, you're being abusive, you know? I'm just intrigued to know, anyone else out there, if you find this to be the case with a lot of situations in society. But yeah, that just seems to be the case so often. I'm interested to know if anyone else feels that way, where things can seem to go from one extreme to the other. But that's going to do it for this video. Prayers out to the family. Hopefully this girl recovers. Subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for updates. And I'm out of here.